Nigeria participated 40th Gulf Information Technology Exhibition with other 200 countries of the world. More support for the federal government's plan on mass housing. Plus, Ghana votes for the next president. This and more on Panorama this Monday. I'm Ian Ray John. Thank you for joining us. Nigerian startups have joined over 200 of other counterparts from more than 60 countries in participating at the 40th Gulf Information Technology Exhibition GTEX 2020 taking place in Dubai World Trade Center. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson, who is there for us, reports that the event, which has as its theme inspiring the next decade of breakthroughs, reinforces post-pandemic recovery, offering the over 100,000 visitors a real-life platform to explore opportunities and challenges beyond COVID-19.
Just like in 2019, a total of 10 Nigerian startups are participating in this year's GITEX, and they will be exploring networking opportunities with over 200 global innovators and accelerators. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, who is leading Nigeria's delegation alongside the host, the Director General of NITDA, Kashifu Inua, are expecting that the long week technology event will foster fresh conversations around ICT sector, which has exponentially contributed to the nation's GDP.
We are not here to participate just to see what has been taking place, but rather to ensure that we get more investors that are willing to invest in Nigeria, and secondly, to get technology transfer.
This is an opportunity for us to showcase our talented startups and also to learn from other countries what are they doing to prepare themselves for the post-COVID era. 2020
has unarguably been a year of unprecedented times as a result of coronavirus pandemic. But despite the fact, the 40th anniversary of GITEX is the only major live in-person technology event of the year. From observations, there is strict compliance with COVID-19 safety protocols, to the teeth, many say, which has given participants a sense of confidence to be here and partake in several outlined activities. Deep tech areas that have been cocooned will now birth the next decade technology, with hopes that Nigerian startups will be on the list of such innovators. From the World Trade Center in Dubai, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Many thanks, Joseph. Now looking at the airspace, every 7th of December is observed as the International Civil Aviation Day. It is celebrated worldwide to reinforce awareness of the role and importance of International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, in air travel across the globe. Every 5 years, the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, Council establishes a special anniversary theme for the International Civil Aviation Day. The theme for International Civil Aviation Day 2020 is Advancing Innovation for Global Aviation Development. The Council has decided to keep the same theme until the year 2023. The ICAO has the responsibility for the promotion of safety standards vis-à-vis contribution to international civil aviation to social and economic development. This is done in conjunction with the civil aviation in every country, Nigeria inclusive. I have joining me via Zoom now Nnamdi Udo, former Managing Director, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. Thank you for joining us. Do I still have him on? All right. As soon as we establish contact with the Managing Director of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, we shall have that interview. In other news now, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, wants a better partnership between the academic community and government to create wealth and drive the much-desired economic development in the country. The Minister raised this matter in his lecture entitled University Education, Entrepreneurship and Employment Prospects, Survival imperatives in post-COVID-19 and era at the convocation in Ilorin. Kendi Omolosho has the details.
The ongoing multi-billion-dollar investments in infrastructure development, such as railways, airports expansion, and road construction, covering about 13,000 kilometers across Nigeria, the minister says, provided business opportunities to young Nigerians who could think outside the box. Instead of searching endlessly for limited white-collar jobs, graduates are challenged to leverage on these and other federal government's business support programs to become employers of labor and contribute to national development.
It's moving to an expansion of infrastructure, creation of infrastructure, repair and maintain of infrastructure. So it's going to need manpower in those areas. It's going to need more quarry, more bitumen, more asphalt, more engineering consultants for design, for supervision.
Nigerian universities are, however, encouraged to streamline their curriculum to align with government policies aimed at promoting MSMEs. Kendi Omolosho, NTA News.
For supporting the federal government's move to address housing deficit in the country, Kano State government has allocated land for the construction of 5,000 housing units in the commercial city. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje stated this while receiving a delegation from the Federal Housing Authority at the Kano Government House. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
The visit to Kano by the Federal Housing Authority's delegation is to assess the state of the Federal Housing Estate Charada established more than 3 decades ago. Issues of illegal occupation of houses, wrongful acquisition of lands and development of corner shops were what the team led by Executive Director Business Development Abdul Mumini Jibril Kofa came to address. This is to pave way for the rejuvenation of the estate through the provision of services such as road network, street lights and standard drainage system.
We want to convert the estate to a model estate where everybody who is living here will be proud of the estate.
The move, while at the Government House, the Executive Director disclosed, is coming while preparations are on to construct a 5,000-unit housing estate, which is part of federal government strategies to address housing deficit in many parts of the country. Governor Ganduje, who announced the allocation of a mass land for the housing project, assured of continued support towards successful execution of federal government programs and projects in the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, has enjoined the youth to remain agents of positive change in the interest of all. This was at a media briefing in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This media briefing, according to Governor Yahaya Bello, is premised on an intelligence report that there might be another round of protest by the youth. Protest by youth under any guise, he explained, is counterproductive and inimical to the peace and development of the country.
And I passionately appeal to the great Nigerian youths not to be the harbinger of such much pain and loss to their compatriots, individual, families, and communities alike. We need to have a country to even protest for, a better one at all. Social change, like fire, must never be allowed to get out of control, or it will consume the very building it was ignited to warm in the first place, along with the occupants.
Dialogue and the use of the ballot, the governor believed, are the most acceptable ways of expressing grievances. He urged the youth to mobilize themselves in a more civilized manner, rather than indulging in acts that may be hijacked by hoodlums. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
With the myriad of challenges faced by Nigeria in its bid to achieve development, forging a united front to confront them is believed to be the best option for national greatness to further promote the cause of peace. The National Christian Pilgrims Commission and some youth groups are forging a common front to enlighten the public on the benefits of peaceful coexistence. Omenka Marachuku completes the story.
These are a coalition of ethnic youth leaders in Nigeria coming together to chart a way forward to build a partnership for peace building. As young people, they believe that time has come for National Youth Constituency to come together on their own to find lasting solutions.
This is the way to go. The way of dialogue is lengthy. We must continue to exploit the option of consultation and dialogue before hitting the street, because the lessons of the actions that followed the peaceful protest by young people during the NSAS is enough for us to learn from.
In today's world, violence are never a way of solving problems. Both locally and internationally, you will know that violence does not solve problems. If we continue on the path of violence, we will even lose our integrity as a nation.
With this meeting between the Coalition of Ethnic Nigerian Youths and the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, it is believed that young Nigerians will contribute their quota to nation building. In Abuja, Umenka Marachuku, NTA News.
We couldn't establish a Zoom connection with Nnamdi Udo, but we have him live via telephone, the former Managing Director of Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. Thank you for joining us, sir. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Please, we would like to find out, as far as advancing the airspace technology is concerned in Nigeria, looking at the theme of this year's International Civil Aviation Day, would you say that we're doing well?
Yes, we are continuously innovating and improving into a seamless airspace and performance-based air navigation system. Aviation is never static; it's always improving and innovating.
Okay. So, what about safety as regards the Nigerian airspace?
Nigerian airspace is being made more robust in recent years with technology deployment, more especially the last 10 years with the advent of total coverage of Nigerian airspace, and with the pilot data link and total VHF, very high frequency communication coverage. So Nigerian airspaces are judged one of the best in this part of the world, in the top region of the African Indian Ocean, has been initiated by ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Udo. But just before I let you go, quickly, what do you think are the challenges Nigeria should, focus on looking at aviation safety in the future?
Nigeria must focus on human capital development and a robust, scalable regulatory framework. Like you know, presently the primary review of the regulatory framework is before the National Assembly, and subsequently we shall be going back to review the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulation, which is expected to manage the oversight and look after the efforts, the airspace, and other ancillary of the industry.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Udo, for your thoughts about Nigerian airspace.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's now talk politics. The Chairman Progressives Governors Forum and the Governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, has called on state governors to leverage on agriculture as the easiest way to cushion the effects of economic recession being experienced in the country. The forum chairman was speaking during a visit to Jigawa State, where he inaugurated a 42.5 kilometers road project constructed by the state government. Mohammed Musa Askira completes the report.
Governor Atiku Bagudu says agriculture is the way out for most states in the country, considering the dwindling federal allocation to states triggered by the second leg of economic recession Nigeria is experiencing. He observed that the current economic challenge is a global phenomenon arising from the COVID-19 pandemic, advising governors to look inward with a view to supplement the state's revenue drive.
What is amazing is what he has been able to achieve with the limited resources, because in the last 6 years the world economy has been in a turbulence which has been worsened by this year's coronavirus pandemic coupled with the flooding that devastated many states, including Jigawa.
Governor Badru Abubakar said the 42.5-kilometer road project linking Kafin Hausa and Kiawa local governments areas at the cost of 5.3 billion naira to boost movements of agricultural produce along the axis.
Ina so in ƙara mika godiya kamar yadda kullum nake ga Baba Buhari domin yarjewarsa da taimakonsa da adalcinsa ya sa muka samu muna wa'annan ayyuka kamar yadda na faɗa.
This is the second time Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar is inviting APC governors across the country for the inauguration of road projects in Jigawa in less than 3 months. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And away from Nigeria, more than 17 million Ghanaians are deciding today in a crucial election for the next president of the country to be elected. Incumbent Nana Akufo-Addo is facing challenges by 13 other candidates, including his immediate predecessor, John Mahama Dramani. Major election issues are economic development, building of infrastructure, fighting corruption and tackling COVID-19. Ghana has been having smooth democratic transition since the return of democracy in that country in 1992. Now, still in Ghana, the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections are now in progress in Ghana. Correspondent Musbah Dan Wahab is in Accra monitoring the process, and he joins us live. Musbah, what's the situation in Ghana from your observation?
All right, thank you very much for joining us here in Accra, Ghana. It's the 8th successive election here in Ghana since multi-party democracy returned in 1992. And trust me, Ghanaians have been patriotically guiding this process to ensure that this country remains one of the strongest democracies in this region. And as early as 6:30 a.m., the election observation mission of ECOWAS, led by the former president, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, set out to monitor this process. And at 7 o'clock, at various places that we visited, including Ododo Diodio constituency, one of the strategic areas here in Accra, the election started in earnest. And Ghanaians have been participating in this process, coming out earnest to vote, to cast their vote. About 70 million people who are eligible voters are participating in the process. And talking about COVID-19 safety protocols, trust me, Ghana has been consistently showing commitment in the fight against COVID-19 spread. And before you come to any polling unit here, we have strategic places for hand washing. Trust me, you cannot even come towards the polling unit without using your face mask. So they have been showing commitment in that regard. But in some places, they seem to be overwhelmed, and the social distancing protocol seems to be kept aside. But above all, participants have been showing commitment and readiness to guide this process. And head of mission of ECOWAS, Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, spoke to us earlier about her observation as the election commenced early today.
I think the process is going on very well. It has started on time. The voters are moving. The officials, the polling, the representation, the agents of the parties are all here. So for us, it's moving well. It's in the Ghana tradition of a smooth voting process.
And that's it. But before today's election proper, there was what they called special voting here in Ghana some days back, where people who will be on essential duties today, like journalists, security agents, participated in the voting to ensure that nobody, no eligible Ghanaian is disenfranchised in this process. That's the situation for now. We'll keep you updated as the election progresses.
Thank you, Musbah, for that update. This is Panorama, live on the network service of the NTA. Time for a break. Do stay.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths Let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Thank you for staying. The House of Representatives says that any statement that does not emanate from the recognized minority leadership or majority leadership caucus does not reflect the position of members and should therefore be disregarded. In a statement, Chairman of the House Committee on Media and Publicity, Benjamin Kalu, says comments in circulation calling for the president's impeachment credited to Representative Kingsley Chinda of the PDP does not represent even the weakest of opinions of the minority caucus of the 9th House, as it lost that opportunity having failed to secure the position of minority leader now occupied by Ndudu Elumelu. Their statement stressed that the House will not be distracted and remains focused to have an interactive session with Mr. President to enable members make inputs to solutions he's seeking. Now, the federal government is to develop a strategy towards boosting production and export of gum arabic for more revenue generation. This, the government says, is part of the post-COVID-19 economic diversification strategy. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
This is what gum arabic looks like, a secretion of the acacia tree known in northern Nigeria as gao. Gum arabic is in high demand globally due to its use in beverages, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, and shoemaking. It is also used as a binder in stamps, envelopes, and cigarette wraps. The global demand of the produce is put at 90,000 to 100,000 metric tons per annum. Nigeria was the largest producer in Africa, producing more than 20,000 metric tons, but lost to Sudan as the production dropped to about 5,000 metric tons annually.
Between 2004 and 2014, Nigeria was earning, on the average, $92 million from the export of gum arabic. But now, from 2014 to now, Nigeria is now earning $3 million per annum from gum arabic.
With the gradual security stabilization in Northeast, the federal government has developed a program that will boost gum arabic production.
The major partners for Nigeria are Europe, Asia, Americas.
This meeting, organized by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, identified two strategies. One is the massive planting of the trees for afforestation and degraded soil recovery program. The second is the collection, cleaning, and packaging of the gum for the international market.
Nigeria exports over 95% of its gum arabic in raw form to Europe, Asia, and United States of America. Only 5% is utilized locally. Not processing this commodity locally before export is causing Nigeria huge losses in form of revenue and employment opportunities.
And then it's also economical in planting it because it does not require a lot of water, so it doesn't need a much tendering before it grows and it starts fruiting.
The International Fund for Agricultural Development has set up a plan to plant more than 6 million gum arabic trees in 6 states in northwest and east regions of the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Lovers of democracy must imbibe its tenets to ensure a good governance for the betterment of society. This is the thrust of books presented to the public on good governance, Instrument for Transformation and the Nation on the Sands of Time, written by Dr. Joel Oruche, a Deputy Director with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Abdullahi Musa Suleja has details.
Good Governance is a book that brings to fore the essence of conduct of public affairs and management of public resources by institutions, dwelling on issues surrounding leadership, transparency, corruption, development, social cohesion, and political stability needed in contemporary world to guide those occupying leadership position and inspire the coming generation.
Yet another merit of good governance is Dr. Oruche's remarkable facility derived from his academic background and experience in the public service in combining theoretical with practical knowledge in his analysis.
The other book, On the Sands of Time, is a compilation of articles written over time by the author to also guide public servants on proper way of handling affairs in the offices.
Public servants can play a vital role in nation building, and these books, in my opinion, are reform tools that should be read very well, and whatever we pick out of that should be put into practice.
My decision was informed by the needs to deepen the understanding of good governance.
Public servants at the occasion secured copies of the books for the use of their staff in the offices. Abdullahi Musa Slija, NTA News.
Raise your voice, take action, and let's put an end to rape. That's Panorama this Monday. Thank you for watching. I'm Ian Ray John.